Good morning, children. Today we are going to start our 8th chapter. Name of the chapter is decimals. First, let us check the definition of decimal numbers. A number with a decimal point is called a decimal number. Example 23.25, 16.571, etc. A decimal number has two parts, one on the left side and other on the right side of the point. Let us see what these parts are. Consider the decimal number 24.31. The dot in between 24 and 31 is called the decimal point. The number to the left of the decimal point is called as the whole part or integral part. Thus, the number 24 is the whole part or integral part. The number to the right of the decimal point is called the decimal part. So, 31 is the decimal part. The decimal point separates the integral part and the decimal part. The number of digits after the decimal point are called the number of decimal places. There are two decimal places in 24.31. Now, let's look at one example. 49.35. 49 is the integral part. The dot in between 49 and 35 is the decimal point. 35 is the decimal part. It is read as 49.35. Look, there are two decimal places in 49.35. Now, let us learn how to represent a decimal number on a place value chart. So, for that, let us first know how a place value chart of a decimal number looks like. Starting from the left, we have the hundredths, tens and ones place, which is to the left of decimal point. So, they represents the whole number part. To the right of the decimal point, we have the decimal part. So, immediately after the decimal point, we have the 10th place. Next, the hundredths and then thousandths place. Now, since we have understood the place value chart of a decimal number, let us look at an example. Let us take the decimal number 758.239. We will first write 7 under the hundredths place, 5 under tens place and 8 under ones place. Then we will put a decimal point. After the decimal point, we have the digit 2, which we are going to write under 10th place. Next, the digit 3 will be written under the 100th place. And lastly, the digit 9 will be written under the thousandths place. Here, 758 is the whole number part and 239 is the decimal part. Next, let us learn how to read and write decimal numbers. Let us look at the first example, 25.2, where 25 belongs to the integral or whole number part. So, we write 25 in words. The decimal point can be represented as and in words. We have 2 after the decimal point, which represent the decimal part. And 2 is in the 10th place. So, we can write 2 tenths. So, 25.2 can be read as 25 and 2 tenths. The second example is 9.63. 9 is to the left of the decimal point, so we read it as 9. Decimal point as and. Since 6 and 3 are to the right of decimal point and 6 is in the 10th place and 3 is in the 100th place. So, it can be read as 63 hundredths. So, the number 9.63 can be read as 9 and 63 hundredths. Next topic is tenths, hundredths and thousandths. The fractions with the denominator 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, etc. are known as decimal fractions. Tenths. Decimal fractions with 10 as the denominator are called tenths. Tenths is equal to 1 by 10, which is equal to 0.01. Here, each circle has been divided into 10 equal parts. The shaded part of first circle shows 4 by 10, which is equal to 0.4. The shaded part of second circle shows 7 by 10, which is equal to 0.7. The shaded part of third circle shows 9 by 10, which is equal to 0.9. Here, consider 2 complete circles and 5 parts out of 10 equal parts of a circle are shaded. So, it shows 2 5 by 10 or 2.5. We read it as 2 and 5 tenths. Now, observe this square. It is divided into 100 square parts and out of this one part is shaded. So, the shaded part shows 1 by 100 or 0.01. It is called hundredth. We read it as 1/100ths. Here, each square has been divided into 100 equal parts. The shaded portion of first square shows 15 by 100, which is equal to 0.15. Similarly, the shaded portion of the second square shows 62 by 100, which is equal to 0.62. Now, can you tell what does the shaded portion here shows? Here, one complete square is shaded. The 2 parts out of 10 equal parts are shaded. And finally, 7 parts out of 100 equal parts are shaded. So, the shaded portion shows 1 plus 2 by 10 plus 7 by 100 is equal to 1 plus 0.2 plus 0.07, which is equal to 1.27. We read it as 1 and 27 hundredths. Similarly, if we divide a square into 1000 equal parts and shade one part, the shaded part will shows 1 by 1000, which is equal to 0.001. It is called 1/1000ths. Next, let us see how we can convert fractions into decimals and decimals into fractions. If the denominator of the fraction is 10, then put the decimal point in the numerator after one place from right. In 5 by 10, the denominator is 10. So, we put decimal point just after 5 towards the left. We get 0.5. In 69 by 10, the denominator is 10. So, after point we need one digit. Thus, we put decimal point just after 9 towards the left. We get 6.9. If the denominator of the fraction is 100 or 1000, then put the decimal point in the numerator after 2 or 3 places from right. For example, in 21 by 100, the denominator is 100. So, after point we need 2 digits. Thus, we put decimal point after 2 towards left. We will get 0.21. In 125 by 1000, the denominator is 1000. So, after point we need 3 digits. Thus, we put decimal point after 1 towards the left. We get 0.125. If the numerator is short of digits, we insert zeros at the left of the numerator. For example, in 8 by 100, we need 2 digits after decimal point. So, we write 8 as 08 and put decimal point after 0 towards the left. We get 0.08. In 4 by 1000, we need 3 digits after decimal point. So, we write 4 as 004 and put decimal point after 0 towards the left. We get 0.004. Convert 4 by 5 into decimal form. How to find the answer? Think. Let me tell you. To represent any fraction in decimal form, we need to find its equivalent fraction whose denominator must be a number like 10, 100, 1000, etc. To find the equivalent fraction of 4 by 5, we will divide each part of the square into 2 equal parts. Thus, we will get a total of 10 equal parts. Now, 8 of these parts are shaded. So, we can say that the equivalent fraction of 4 by 5 is 8 by 10. We will represent the same in decimal form as 0.8. Generally, to find the equivalent fraction of any fraction, we will multiply the numerator and denominator of the fraction by the same number. So, 4 by 5 is equal to 8 by 10. 8 by 10 is equal to 0.8. To convert a decimal into a fraction, write the given decimal without the decimal point as numerator. In the denominator, write 1 followed by the number of zeros equal to the number of digits after the decimal point in the given decimal. For 0.6, we write 6 as the numerator. Since 0.6 has 1 digit after the decimal point, so we write 10 as the denominator. So, 0.6 is equal to 6 by 10. For 4.32, the numerator is 432. 4.32 has 2 digits after the decimal point. So, we write 100 as the denominator. Thus, 4.32 is equal to 432 by 100. For 16.357, the numerator is 16,357. 16.357 has 3 digits after the decimal point. So, we write 1000 as the denominator. Thus, 16.357 is equal to 16,357 by 1000. Next topic is representation of decimal numbers on the number line. Like fractions, we can also represent decimal numbers also on the number line. Here is a number line. We have taken a few numbers on it to represent the decimal numbers. Let's divide unit distance in 10 equal parts. This will be 1 by 10, which can be represented as 0.1. In the same way, 2 tenths can be represented as 0.2. 3 tenths can be represented by 0.3 and so on. How will we represent 2.6 on the number line? In this case also, we will divide the unit distance into 10 equal parts. In 2.6, since there are 2 ones and 6 tenths, we will count 6 parts after 2. By doing so, we will get the place of 2.6. Similarly, to represent 3.9 on the number line, we will divide the unit distance into 10 equal parts and count 9 parts after 3. By doing this, we will get the place of 3.9. Next topic is comparing decimals. While comparing decimal numbers, we first compare the whole number parts. If the whole number parts are equal, then we compare the extreme left digits of the decimal parts. If they are equal, then we compare the next digits and so on. Let us compare 7.4 and 2.86. Both numbers have whole number parts. If the decimal have whole number parts, then compare whole number parts first. The whole number part in 7.4 is 7 and in 2.86 is 2. Since 7 is greater than 2, so 7.4 is greater than 2.86. Now, let us compare 0.83 and 0.9. If decimals have equal whole number parts, then compare decimal parts. 0.83 has 8 tenths and 3 hundredths, whereas 0.9 has 9 tenths. Since 8 tenths is less than 9 tenths, so 0.83 is less than 0.9. Next example, Let us compare and find out which is smaller of 6.418 and 6.47. Here, whole number parts are equal. So we compare the decimal parts. They are 0.418, which is equal to 4 tenths plus 1 hundredths plus 8 thousandths. Similarly, 0.47 is equal to 4 tenths plus 7 hundredths. Since 4 tenths is equal to 4 tenths, so we compare the next digits. Here, 1 hundredths is less than 7 hundredths. Therefore, 6.418 is less than 6.47. Okay children, today's class is completed. Practice the example questions given in the video.